Hey, what's going on, everyone? I wanted to show you how I took my own picture at home to create my own passport photos, saving you about $20 each time. The local Walgreens and CVS here wanted like $18 plus taxes. That could really add up over time or actually right away, especially if you have more than two people. And it's fairly simple, but there's a couple of things that I found out through the process that probably could have saved you time. So I'm here to share with you on how do you do about doing that. All you need is a printer. I specifically have a Canon printer. I also have some photo paper that I purchased for like about $7 on Amazon. I can provide the links for all those here. And then also the link on the government website where you can actually crop your photos and kind of like what to look out for when it comes to photos. So before we get started, I want to show you this travel.state.gov website, which is where I found a lot of the information. There's a cropping tool in front right here, but we'll share that in a little bit in detail later on down the line. But what I want to show you is a couple of like photo requirements. What does that look like, right? This is super important. If the requirements do not match what they're looking for, they may deny it, and then you would have to kind of go back and take the picture and print it out again. I would recommend maybe having two copies, just in case if one gets denied, you would have a second one. But I actually over prepared, and I actually only needed one. But I'll show you a couple of things and tips to look out for. So what you want to do is you want to go to the website and look at the requirements first, just to make sure you know what they're looking for. You want to have a photo that was taken in the last 6 months, be clear, have someone else take the photo, so no selfies. You want to take off glasses or sunglasses. And it's super important as well to have a white or off-white background with no shadows, textures, or lines. Make sure it's not doctored with filters or AI intelligence. At first, I took a picture with a dark background and I edited it to have a white background, and I decided against that because you just never know, that might be denied. So you got to be super careful there. Um, One thing you always want to look at is look at some of these examples, right? Super important is you want to make sure that the picture goes down to like, down to the necklace area of this gentleman here. The shoulders are kind of even on both sides and he's right in the middle. That's going to be super important. And you can see some of these examples. This one, it did not go fairly well because there's a shadow, right? That changes, your skin color and the way you might appear in person. Same thing with this one here. The color's inaccurate, so you can see kind of where there might be concerns when you're traveling internationally. And this one here, it's underexposed, right? So you need to have proper lighting. I won't go through all these here, but you want to kind of double check just to make sure everything looks good. You want to make sure you can smile, but with with your mouth closed, or just kind of have like a natural expression. But either way, mouth closed is most important. No hats, hair out of your face. What you also want to do is most importantly is the size. So it needs to be a 2 by 2 or 51 by 51 millimeters later. So I'll share with you on what that looks like on the printer settings. And then your head from the top of the head to the chin, and you need to measure that, when you print out the photo, just to make sure it's 1 inch to 1 1/4 inches as well. So with that being said, don't worry about having a link for this. I'll share that on the link below of all the places that you need to go to. For now, what we'll do is I'll show you how to kind of go to use the kind of the passport tool, right? So you're going to be able to go to the passport tool. What you can do is go to the first website I showed you, which is here. For this instance, I actually have the stock photo here, and it was already kind of taken, let's say, taken the photo of. And what you can do is you can just upload it here, and then, like, let's say, just choose a photo, upload here, so I have it under sample, and then it's going to automatically crop it for your passport services, right? So what you want to do is just hit accept and proceed, hit download the image. So it's going to be crop sample. I'm going to hit save. What you want to do now is you want to go over to the Canon uh, software. And then from there, you can actually kind of edit the photo before you print it out. So Canon has a pretty cool software and it's totally free if you have Canon. It's called the Easy Photo Print Editor. You can download on their website directly. You can just put in your model number and it should be there. Or I believe you can also access it through the main software and it'll backdoor to it. But in this case, what you want to do is you want to hit on ID photos. Now, here's where it went wrong for me. I hit on ID photos. You got to make sure that it's the size that your country accepts. I made the mistake of clicking on this 2.5 by 3. Those are way too large, or 2.5 by 3, and that's way too large as well. And so that's going to be a tough one, right? It needs to be 51 millimeters by 51 millimeters, right? So what you want to do is you can click on that. You can select the photo, right? I'm going to hit the crop image here. And then from there, you can print it out. Now that's great if it's the right photo and the right size, but in this case, it isn't. So let me show you what it looks like in the event that it's not. So I'm going to return to home screen here. I'm going to go to just custom size frame right here. And then here is where you want to make those edits. So remember what we said, it was by 2 inches by 2 inches or 51 millimeters by 51 millimeters. So what you want to do is hit 51, hit 51 again, and then you can do, multiple frames. I like to do a minimum of two, just one as a backup just in case, or you can do four if you have two different photos. You're already using the photo paper, so might as well go for it, right? And so for there, hit next. You can select the photo here, hit the crop, and then as you're going through it, you can just double click and select the photo that you want it added to. On the third and fourth one, if you have a different photo and you're not sure if the first one's going to work out, which is what I did, I put in the different photos here, but for this example, I just put in the very same photo. And then all you need to do is hit next, right? You can save it for later. I don't even want to hit like auto fix or anything. I don't want it to be touched. Maybe red eye correction would be okay, but for this case, I don't want it to be doctored at all. I'm going to hit next. And then this is where the settings kind of matter with your Canon printer or any other printers that you have. For media quality, make sure you know kind of where it's coming from the feed from, right? It could be the back tray or the main tray. I use the rear tray, so I'll use it here. The media type is this photo paper. Quality, I would just like to go best. You never know. This is your passport photo, right? And then from there, you can just turn off the collate so it doesn't print on both sides. I don't know why it's always standard for me, so you have to make sure that's turned off. And that's it. And then from there, you just hit print. Once it prints out, I would recommend, cutting it off cleanly and neatly as much as possible. Use a ruler if you need to, and then take that ruler and then measure from the top of his head or the person's head and then to the chin just to make sure it stays within that range of the settings. And that's pretty much it. It took me a couple of tries to kind of go through it, but hopefully all my tips are really helpful for you, and you will save some money without having to go to another outside vendor to kind of take a photo and pay them $20 each time. Thanks so much for listening in. Give me a like, hit subscribe. There's going to be more tech savvy stuff coming on down the line, and just let me know if this helped you, and we'll go talk soon. Thanks so much.